just a morning gnosis, acting from a space, creating from a space of inspiration, based upon the energetics, based upon what's going on in the collective, what's going on in our personal lives, and how we can better call forward what that expression of love and hope is within this now moment of the transformation that we're currently processing. We are in that eclipse passageway. Full moon in Scorpio last night. We are ripe in transformation. If you choose to see it as such. Bonjour, Genevieve. Everyone is, we process differently here, right? Everyone processes things at their whatever they're handling, whatever thread or narrative they're working through. And what I wanted to do was gift ourselves an opportunity today to celebrate who we are, where we're at right now, and to take a moment to really authentically find the loving hope and the loving inspiration we need to feel what we need to feel here and now, and to carry on forward with that hope and inspiration. But hope alone doesn't drive the ship home. It requires action on our part, especially when it comes to processing what is going through the collective. Now, I recognize that we're all at different themes and threads of the collective, right? But so for myself, it's been very much so focused on persecution, on anger, on hatred, on, if we want to, I don't want to label it. Okay. I really don't want to label it, but like, once again, I'm Jungian. I kind of have a little bit more of that archetypal functioning when I view things. It's just, I characterize self. And it's been the psychopath, right? And we're seeing that these explosive moments that require our energetic awareness are actually playing out in the collective. Okay. And the thing is that when we are working through energies such as this, depending upon where you're at, right? Because I know I recognize not everyone is going through this. So when we are going through this level of transformation and awareness, okay, of what is going on within our internal condition, our internal structures, we don't want to bypass or negate what we're going through. We want to shift it out fully, but we also want to recognize that those versions of ourselves or those feelings that are coming to the surface can be loved and honored just as they are. So it might feel repetitive to hear this theme, but I find that the repetition gives us notice and availability to be vulnerable, to love ourselves authentically, and to recognize that there's a safe form of expression in the feeling that you're feeling right now and whatever it is that you're diving into. For myself, and for others that I'm seeing this, there's a lot of pain coming to the surface. A lot of that pain is us reaching a form of completion and really recognizing from within the internal processes that have blocked us from being able to receive and hold the value of love within our hearts. When it comes to processing emotions such as this, begin to shift into a new reality, it does require a patience, trust, but a safe, healthy way to create with that as well. For myself, I've been under a very big internal process of transformation. And a lot of this is looking at those versions of self that I might not like, those ones that I betrayed at a point in time, and those ones that weren't even allowed in society, and really diving into where the thread still exists and to allow the transformation to occur. But also to witness the transformation as a miracle, right? The awareness that what comes to the surface, whether it's brought forward by another or it's an internal condition that you're recognizing from within, that itself is a miracle. To witness and observe your own self and to find worth and value in your experience and in what you're feeling here and now is extremely important. There's a lot of feelings coming to the surface. A lot of feelings coming to the surface. And myself included, I recognize that a part of this transformation is the breakdown, break open, break through what gets our heart open wider than it has before, and what gives us the opportunity to love ourselves and love others unconditionally. And a lot of that is seeing spirit within all, not only within the all, but within all that you encounter. And for myself, this has been witnessing the spark of life, witnessing the beauty within all that I encounter, but also more importantly, recognizing that spirit exists within me, and every emotion that I'm feeling right now is driven by spirit. It is driven by consciousness. It is a communication link with myself regarding something that occurred in my life, something that I need to pay attention to, something that's been getting in the way, and it is calling forward for release. And that's what this transformation is. And of course, with the scorpionic tones, because we're dealing with the Scorpio full moon, this is a deep dive. But it's a deep dive into the place of balance within our own lives. It's the recognition point within ourselves and within our cellular memory of that which we are ready to let go of, or that which we are willing to see here and now and to love authentically and unconditionally, right? So as these things come up, there is a lot of neutrality and observation that needs to be held, right? And a lot of grounding, okay? When these primary emotions show up, such as fear, okay, such as emotional neglect, abuse, anger, hatred, whatever it is, the more important thing for all of us too is to stay within the body and to be able to feel fully that which we're feeling here and now, right? It is gifting us the opportunity to witness it and to allow it to shift us into a new valuable system of honor. And a part of this is freedom of expression, right? And myself included, these are the ones that want to, like, they paint pictures, they play music, they're looking for a healthy outlet. Okay, they're looking for a healthy outlet. And it's because when we take these energies and these emotions such as anger, rage, hatred, and we let them fester for too long, there is a moment of impact that occurs where the program gets triggered off. And this is then when it's up to us on how we act upon what we are feeling. Okay. And the thing is that a lot of, at least here in the Western society and Western culture, there's not a lot of teachings in the school systems regarding how to handle anger. At least for myself, I don't know if they're teaching this now, but the healthy, the healthy outlets of anger, the healthy outlets of aggression, the healthy outlets of rage, and what to do with those spaces, places, right? And we're now seeing that we are being given an opportunity right now to celebrate who we are in our authentic expression, to begin to invite in the love and the joy into these spaces, places, and times, and to begin co-creating with divinity, to co-create with the divine, and to know that we are held in the highest honor and the highest love in regards to that which you are feeling here and now, and that you are allowed to transform just as you are allowed to feel safe, but you're also allowed and gifted the opportunity to come deeper into the self and to feel fully what is purging, right? The thing is that it does require a lot of safe space to be held while we're going through these levels of transformation. That which the chapters that are closing, that are completing in the collective right now, are extremely important. Myself included, I'm not fully aware of exactly every single part of this that is transforming, but I am aware that a transformation and a transition is in process. And as long as I hold myself in the space of divine love, divine alchemy, surrender, and I'll allow myself to shift and to transform, I will, and you will, get to the other side of this transformation, and you will see what miracle awaits you on the other side. The thing is that right now there is a period of great loss and great mourning that is occurring, especially within the men. Okay, I'm seeing that this is having an effect. If you have any connections to, like, the army or the military or the warrior aspect, that transformation is ripe right now. I've also noticed that there's a lot of us in the male category that are having to see some really, really, really deep revelations over how we treat ourselves and how we treat the feminine. Okay. A brother mentioned it yesterday, that the feminine is on fire and we need to get the masculines more online. Now, as a result, if you are in a male form or you're dealing with the masculine energetics at all, or you label yourself as a masculine, okay, I don't want you to punish yourself for who you are and what you feel. There are layers of distortion and mud that are coming to the surface. And as a result, some of these things and some of these awarenesses within our own processing power are really not so nice. But as long as we take this and we handle it with gentle care, we care about ourselves, and we feel fully, especially when it comes to misplaced or displaced aggression, we're going to find new avenues to build a beautiful world where we can feel what we need to feel, we can express how we need to express, and we can be free in our expression. Okay. So what we are doing is really taking these versions of self and unifying them as creator with creator within a safe space and a healthy space of creation, and allowing them to flourish just as they are. Which means that there is a healthy level of expression that can come from them. There's a lot of genius that can come from these energies if we work with our alchemy and our transformation in such a way to allow them to be held in the highest honor within divine love. It doesn't mean that what you are like, so even I relate to self here a lot, not because I want to share all of self with the world, but it's a relation point, right? Is because I'm working with this energy right now, is that these versions of self, I don't have to like them, but I can unconditionally love them and see them just as they are, and allow them to ascend, and allow it to give me motivation to move forward and to care deeper about myself and other people. So finding a space of compassion for who you are and where you're at right now, and compassion for others, is really helpful. If you can't hold space to show compassion for someone else, that's okay. Deepen the compassion and the self-love for yourself. Get into that routine. What makes you feel good? What helps you to feel inspired? What gives you an opportunity to create a whole new avenue that is free of resistance, but more of a place of allowing yourself to be just as you are, where you are, and to feel what you're going to feel. This is a really important time in humanity's history where we are gifted an opportunity to really, really shift and to transcend a lot of old versions, old visions, old mentalities, old thought structures. And I recognize, to get the entire collective on the same page, it is a process. But we are all ascending, we're all awakening, we are all feeling right now. We're feeling beings in a body, right? So as a result of that, everyone's going to feel what they need to feel, but we also need that healthy level of expression to express what it is that we're feeling, but to not stay there either. We want to override and overwrite the higher light quotient of what it is that we are as well. Okay. Because the thing is that if we keep playing and perpetuating illness, sickness, and dis-ease for who we are within our emotionality, right, we keep that thread alive. So the other thing too is to, once we get through this expression, to bring in that higher light narrative of what it is to be loved. So if we're working through fear, the expression of your fear is healthy, but we don't want to stay there. We want to bring it back to love. If you're feeling the chaotic or the explosiveness, right, healthy ways of letting it out. Once it's done, step into the gratitude. This is the reconnection back to who that you are. So if you're feeling the disconnection or the separation because of some emotion that's coming to the surface, remember that on the other side of that, once the transmutation, once the healing, once the transfiguration, once the dissolution is done, return to a space of gratitude and honor it and witness it just as it is, as a master, as a teacher, as a lesson, as growth, right? So it really, really, really is important for us to make sure that as we are working through our separation, that we come back into a space of connection within ourselves, which is our hope, our freedom, our love, our journey home, our soul's expression, our light, right? Especially as we're digging up the mud and we're allowing the transformation to carry us home. A place of surrender is really important, because anywhere we try to control the avenues or control the realities can create a lot. But what it is from a different space is also that you have the ability now to shift the direction of your focus the direction of your mentality, and the direction of your heart in such a way that is leading you forward back into the light of all that you are. I just saw a really beautiful comment, which is, I struggle to stay optimistic. When I'm going through periods of transformation such as this, I'm the same way. And a lot of the gratitude is forced, but I recognize that within self, if I am in a depletion of self-worth or self-value, it's very hard to feel that. And so I have to begin depositing into my physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental bank account those thought forms, those belief systems that help to dissolve the struggle narrative. And recognizing that the abundant spirit of love that exists within me can allow me to transform and come back to a place of beauty, just so long as I keep reminding myself of that. And it's those subtle reminders. It's those post-it notes from the universe. It is that permission slip to feel okay. That permission slip to feel loved. That permission slip that you can be optimistic. Because at some level or some degree, we've been telling ourselves that through what we are going through, we cannot hold optimism. But when we start to try to go into optimism, oh, Angel, I'm so happy you're here. Love you, sweetie. When it comes to us finding optimism and believing in that optimistic approach to life again, we might not feel it fully because we've been lacking at some level. And so it really is up to us to make those deposits into our internal condition, to remember that we can be in our joy, we can be loved, we can be grateful. Even myself, there was an explosive moment last night for myself, right? And I sat there and I was just churning, right? And it was like, I'm going to snap, crackle, pop right now. And I had to give myself permission to show gratitude for the experience. I said, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this experience. I'm grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for this feeling. And it took about 5 minutes of repeating it over and over until I finally felt it and my heart got back online. There are moments where the spot of reconnection, coming back to our joy, coming back into our celebration, can take hours, or it can take days, or it can take minutes. But I promise you, the more that you invest in that self-love and knowing that you have the power within you, within your word, within your belief, to come back to a place of joy and optimism, you will. But we have to believe it. And myself included, to get motivated throughout the day, to feel good about who I am, to feel safe in the body at times, it can be difficult, right? And the biggest thing is that the feelings that are coming forward for myself and the things that are being expressed to me are the things that I do not want to love. But the thing is that since I am a creator calling forward a loving reality that can love unconditionally all versions of self, that can integrate all these versions and ascend all these chapters and storylines so I can reach that completion and I can graduate and then share that hope and inspiration with the world, I know that it's really up to me to find ways of finding beauty and love and resilience in all of those chapters as they're closing out, and to honor them. This is where I really have to find the master teacher within all of those experiences and honor them for what they are, as lessons on the journey, as chapters that are completing, as emotions that are coming to the surface. And so doing what we can to shift the energy and to not guilt ourselves for feeling what we're feeling, but the freedom to feel how you are, because you are a feeling being in a body, right? You are a feeling being in a body. And so there is a moment when we can start shifting the thought form in a direction that is prosperous, that is joyous, that is loving, that is celebratory. But it does take that practice, and practice makes perfect. And so self included, as I'm processing, because for myself, what I do, a part of my process, is I find the thread, right? Because there's themes that go on. It's my programming. And then I sit with it like a soup. And I start to dissect the flavors of what's going on and unravel the storyline. And the important thing is I have, as many humans do, thousands of processes a day and thousands of thoughts. So I carry a little black notebook with me. And when it comes up, that's an important thread, that's that aha moment or highlight, I write it down. But when I write it down, I have to make sure that on another page, I start to affirm the opposite of what that is, because my spells are creations and I don't want to keep casting that in the direction. So as I'm processing and I write down the themes or the narratives that I'm seeing, whether it's like jealousy or it's envy or it's anger or it's frustration or it's trust issues or, you know, it's hatred, whatever it is. I write it down to get real with myself, but then I immediately go into the polarity, the opposite polarity, to shift the focus in the direction into another world and into another reality, because I don't want to stay where I'm at. I'm shifting it out, and I want to remember that I can also shift the body's processes and the body's consciousness into a space that is loving and kind. Okay. And a big part of this is, as these yucky feelings are coming to the surface, feeling safe in the body. Like myself included, I'm like, oh my gosh, these things are coming up. What do I do? Men, get out the oils and get out the lotions, right? Give yourself some love. Last night, that's kind of like what I've been doing. I've just been like, all right, we're putting on the almond oil, and then we're putting on coconut oil, and then we're spraying ourselves down with lavender, and we're just like trying to get all beautiful to feel comfortable in the body again. Because once again, the stuff that's coming to the surface, at least for the men that I'm aware of, that I've been working with, and for myself, it's disgusting stuff. It doesn't feel good. And honestly, to be honest with you, because of who I am and because of my morals and because of my ethics, the things that I'm seeing and feeling within myself are the things that I want to bury, right? But if we really, at the end of the day, you know, I had a brother a long time ago tell me this. He goes, Corey, there's a million people that would love to kick your ass. So why are you the one person that is beating your own butt right now? Trust me, there are people out there on the hunt, right, that would love to pick on someone like me. So why am I the one that's picking on self, right? Got to get out Rover for this one. Rover says hi. So it is one of those that, you know, for myself, I can't become my own enemy, right? And this is one of those things that I've been working with shifting as well, which is like these versions of self, these aspects, this program, this dialogue that I'm having, like how bad I really want to just like bury it, right? And be like, this version of you doesn't belong here and isn't allowed to exist. But the more that I demonize versions of self, the more that I cast shadow or shade on versions of me, the more I leave it in the shadow and shade, and the more that it'll kick up later, right? And these versions of self are ones that at some point in time lacked love, seen, or lacked being heard. And so it is an internal cry for attention to be seen. Whether we want to see it as a child, we want to see it as a little one, we want to see it as a version of self. Either way, these are versions of self that are calling for our attention when we're going through this processing of this transformation. And so the more that we gifted that awareness to feel what it's feeling, to express what it's expressing, and to see it as divine love, the more that we step into the alchemy and the more that we transition and shift these versions and these feelings, right? Because at the end of the day, us being the alchemy is that we are the ones that are taking something from one atomic level and we are changing the properties of it. We're changing it alchemically through our own space of feeling and through our divine love, through our heart. So a part of the unification of self, the unification of these versions and the unifications of these feelings is through honor and through love. So the more that we shade, or the more that we cast these things, or we demonize these things, or we hate these versions of ourselves, the more we are propagating that in the world. So if we are here maintaining and sustaining a place of balance in our own lives, we don't want to keep throwing the polarity on the polarity to keep it within that polarity. We want to start to give it the opposing force to bring it back into a space of balance. So we're working with magnetic charges here. No doubt that right now it is very, very important for us to ground, to feel safe in our skin, to feel safe in our bodies, to feel safe in our emotions, and to feel safe in our expression right now. I also recognize that there are people that are high flying and celebrating and are joyous on their journey right now. And if you are, thank you, because you serve a role, right? Like in sacred ceremony, we want to make sure that all polarities exist, right? So if someone is really, really deep in a transformative experience, we want that love and that laughter and that joy and that humor present in ceremony to offer the gift of that polarity, because that's holding field, that's holding space for the person to express and to go through. Just as there is one who holds neutrality, the ones that are in the space of joy and of glory, and the others that are in their really deep transformative process, each of them in the circle of sacred ceremony holds space for one another to allow themselves to be within the polarity that they are. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what the meaning of this message is to allow yourself to be within the space and range of polarity where you're at. But also, too, is if you're doing this alone, to give yourself the opportunity to transition and to shift this and to ascend this feeling, to ascend this space, to ascend this emotion, to ascend whatever it is within you, right? We have to, this is what came through yesterday for myself. So this isn't a we thing. This is an individuated choice and an individuated expression based on Corey's experience. And the thing is that these versions of self that I casted out and demonized for a very long time are the versions that I need to marry here and now. So those versions that I abandoned or neglected, those are the ones that I need to bring in and I need to marry with self and to say, I will never let you go. I will never hurt you. I will never allow you to fall again. I'm going to love you authentically back into health. I'm bringing you up. You're ascending with me. You're not going anywhere. Right? And it's really, that was really, really profound and important to me, was to sit down and to start creating that ceremony, which I'm probably going to do tonight. And bringing these versions of self and beginning to marry them, coming into that union with those versions of self. Because those versions deserve to be here. They have a gift. They too have a blessing. And the one thing that I've learned from sacred ceremony, and I've learned from plant medicine when I was working with essential oils, was that the oils that we don't like, the oils that we don't want to smell, is usually the medicine we need right now, so we can close these chapters and we can allow this transformation to occur. So that which you resist just might be your miracle. Those versions of self that you don't want to look at, that you've been punishing or pushing away, just might be the most important versions of you, because they have an expression and they have a journey. So if we are here, putting the puzzle pieces back together of self in the orchestration of universal expression, if we don't like the shape of a puzzle piece, which is a version of self, we don't throw away that missing piece. We bring it in, we love it back unconditionally to what it is, and we allow it to transform with us. Okay? We allow it to transform with us. We allow it to become one with us. We hold it in highest honor and integrity, because it too has a voice. It too has a purpose. I've been finding that there are people that have literally been taking versions of themselves and throwing them off the planet, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Why? That's an angel. That's love. That is a master. Right? Come on, guys. Like, these versions of self that you might see as irreparable, there are people that hold a whole lot of hope and a whole lot of love that are like, that version of you is gorgeous. The thing is that we've been ostracized. We've been, at some level, set apart, told that we're different, told that we're not okay, maybe even labeled or diagnosed because of these versions, right? Labeling it gives us an opportunity to recognize what it is. It gives us a definition, but the labels too can also start to set us into societal categories. When we were going through that third dimensional experience, it can start putting us into places where we feel like something is wrong with us. You're an intuitive. You're a feeler. What you have going on within you is a gift. Okay. But the thing is that sometimes when we were within those realms of feeling and we were acting out on those feelings, people didn't know what to do. So we turned into an endangered species, and we started to get thrown into systems, and we started to get thrown, medicines to suppress and to change what we were feeling and to change the chemicals of the body, to change our biorhythms so we could step into alignment. Think of disorder. Out of order. Out of alignment. Alignment with what? So the more that we recognize that these versions of ourselves are really the ones that are showing the way into a new pathway and into a new light, the more that we allow them to be represented just as they are, here and now. Now the thing is that with the light quotient that comes on planet Earth, I also recognize too that because of galactic protocol, because of various belief systems, because of the amount of light we hold, the directory of the ascension pathway, that things are a little different. But a part of us having a healthy voice and advocating for who we are is also to say, hey, these aspects of me, these aspects of self, these versions of self can be admired, can be loved, and they don't have to be thrown away or casted aside or casted out of this world. That they too have a voice and they too have an expression, but they've experienced some polarity. Maybe they've gone through an experience and they need their upgrade and their alignment. Right? So if we're seeing this as an archetype, or we're seeing this as a version or as a guide, right? Like these versions of self, love you too, sweetie. These versions of self, they deserve to have their voice, and they deserve to be here. That's just me. But either way, you know, it is the action that creates the reaction. And this is where it's really up to us and within our mindfulness and within our mastery to know how we act when we're feeling these things, how we react to what we're feeling, and how we also share and express these versions of self. Okay. So, you know, the thing is that we really right now really want to hold a gentle space of self. If you're going through this transformation and you're feeling these things, please gift yourself an opportunity to feel fully what you're feeling without guilt, without shredding yourself completely to pieces, without beating yourself up, without harming yourself or harming others. Okay. And to find a safe space to relax within who you are, Ashe Anta, to no longer judge who and what you are, and to really allow it to be just as it is. To witness that there is a miracle within this process right now. There is a miracle in this process right now. Some of us might not see it as such, but there is always a miracle that's awaiting us when we get through these moments. We are flourishing, we are expanding, we are unifying. I too have tripped on my own shoelaces, guys. I've gotten tripped up in my own storylines, tripped up in my own anger, tripped up in my own control, tripped up in my own fury. But the more that I find peace within myself for who I am, and you find peace within yourself for who you are here and now, the more that we're gonna optimize on the gratitude points of why we're feeling what we're feeling and the experiences that we've had. And we now begin to create a new journey for ourselves, because we are no longer hiding or resisting what's gone on within. We're actually loving and honoring fully. So yeah, really interesting time coming up, and a lot of big completions happening in the world. I want to empower you to remember that we've already won. That we are the ones that are at the helm of our own ship, and we are the ones that are directing that current home. But just like yesterday, I had a sister, my sister Victory, reached out to me, and she said, Corey, stay on the boat. Stay on the boat, Corey. Because once again, that feeling that appears for me is usually the one that wants to run away. But the further I run from people, the further I run from what I'm feeling or what I'm experiencing or who I am, it always finds me, and it finds me just right where I am. Okay, bug did not fly in the coffee pit. It always finds me right where I am. No matter where I'm at in the world, no matter what I'm trying to do, it always finds me. And it is me looking for me to say, hey, take a moment. I'm getting your attention for a reason. You know. So a lot of this is no longer running or persecuting or blaming or shaming or guilting yourself or judging yourself for being who you are, right? But really allowing yourself to really be clear with the direction and the focus of what you're feeling and what you're becoming here and now. So yeah, there are stages of transformation that are occurring. There is grieving that's occurring. There is also a whole lot of love that's pouring through as a result of this. And the most loving thing that we can do here and now is to love ourselves, to be gentle with ourselves, and also to celebrate this moon, guys. The more that we work with this energy and don't resist it, the more we're going to allow it. Even last night, I had a moment where I was like, damn you, Scorpio. Because Scorpio, for me, has always been the most transformative energy to work with. And a lot of it ties into the story of Scorpius, which has to do with Orion. And so the story of Scorpius, as I believe or perceive it to be, because I don't fully remember the story, is that Orion was chasing the Pleiades, I believe. Or was it chasing Taurus? Anyway, look at the story of Scorpius. And basically Scorpio stings Orion, the hunter. So this is that transformation of the hunter. This is the transformation of the archer, right? And then a part of that, magnets are ninjas sometimes, it's so amazing, is that is that the hunter, right? Going through its transformation is we're also seeing the transformation of the warrior. We're seeing the transformation of that which holds the bow, right? So a part of this is that those that I've found for myself, at least, holding a lot of Orion lineage and having to work through a lot of stuff from the Orion constellation, that Scorpio, that energy of Scorpius and the Scorpion holds a lot of resonance, right? And it also ties to past life things. And so once again, for a very long time, I resisted Scorpio. I resisted the Scorpion. And then now that I start to embrace this fully, even if I don't like it, I love it because I know what happens after these transformations. I know what happens and what occurs. And so we can take moments to celebrate these moments and to find victory within these spaces, especially if it's a silent victory, guys. Because remember, not every victory is publicized. Not every victory is televised. And it's our silent victories, our silent wins, that really, really mean the most. And so if you're overcoming a loss, if you're grieving, if you're feeling, if you're getting to that next stage, if you're getting to that next vibrational bandwidth, that new reality, right? And you get there and you know that you've made it there, right? Celebrate that. Reward yourself. Take that moment to do what you can to celebrate that. You know, I find that as we're going through great transformations such as this, I have to go to my tools to really find joy in what I'm going through. And for me, that's music and it's comedy. And I was actually talking to a brother about this yesterday. Asked a question about this, and more to be revealed because I'm still processing how to deal with this fully. But, you know, things like music, things like art, things like creation, comedy, laughing, really, really important. Doing what you can to really have fun again, right? Because this experience can be daunting. And there's a lot of us that are tired, right? There's a lot of us that have been doing this, either have been doing the awakening journey for a really long time and are tired, or we stepped online and the universe said, we're going to make you go 1,000,000 miles an hour. You're going Mach 10 overdrive, and you're getting to where you need to go really quickly. And as a result, we have moments where it's like, dude, I'm tired. I don't want to feel this anymore. My body hurts. I'm aching. I'm tired. I just want my human life back, whatever it is, right? Safe in the expression, find some fun, find some joy. Do what you can to enjoy that, right? The biggest thing today, too, has been get out in nature. The elementals very much so have been expressing to me. I had 2 bunnies earlier that were chasing each other, and they're like, come on, come play. Even today, you know, partner hit me up. She goes, go hug a tree today. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. Go hug a tree. Go relax, right? Get out in nature. Ground. Feel what you got to feel. Hold that space for yourself today, right? Because the collective is going through this. We are going through a transformation. And I know it's going to appear different in different areas, different spots. We've got hot spots, especially major cities where this stuff is kind of going to, where it's been popping up a little bit more. Gift yourself an opportunity to feel what you're feeling. Also, start calling in the support teams, right? Is it the crystal teams, right? Is it your crystals? Is it putting on a fresh pair of clothes, going out and doing your laundry, cleaning? I know for me, the biggest thing, right, has been cleaning. I deep cleaned last night. We're going to keep deep cleaning today. And it's just been really important to make sure that that energy is moving into a space that's productive and not condemning or not deconstructive, because we're deconstructing right now. And it's very easy to step into deconstructive tendencies, right? So especially if you're someone who has addiction issues, or you're someone who doesn't like certain feelings and likes to run to a substance, now is the time to really use that deconstructive energy and to harness the constructive nature of you, or the creatorship of you, and to really step into what it is to use that energy and to move it into a way that is building you up and is helping you to shift, right? So even myself, right, like, because I'm, still a cigarette smoker, I still have addiction in my body, which means that then I start to see, hear, feel, witness how that addiction plays out collectively, how it ripples out. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, hearing it all is even though I'm not doing those things that put me in those positions anymore, right, I still hear the threads, I still hear the strings, I still hear the clarion call, because there is an addictive substance in my body. So as a result, to be kind and gentle with myself right where I'm at, important. But also to taking that moment to start working on constructing a new reality, and taking that energy and creating momentum or motivation or motion in a direction that's loving and kind to self is really going to help me to prosper, flourish, and expand. And so it will with you as well. So would it be. So that's another part of our alchemy of our creation, is if you're feeling that rage, if you're feeling that anger, if you want to go, do what you got to do. Get up, clean, and talk shit. Right? I had a teacher once that told me this, and it was really good. She goes, Corey, bitching is really good medicine. Bitching and complaining is really good medicine. And I do this sometimes too. I'm like, you know what, universe, I'm about to go there. Okay, and you're like, please hold space. And I bitch and I complain because I'm moving the energy out. And once it's done, I feel better. Sometimes we just need to, it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. Sometimes we have to kick, scream, moan, get frustrated, let it out. You're moving energy in motion, but don't stay there, right? Like, get to that moment. Once it's done, okay, I'm grateful. I'm back to my hope. I'm back to my love. I'm on a journey home. I recognize that I'm feeling things right now. I'm going through an experience. I'm going through a lesson. I'm going through a loss. I'm going through a heartbreak. I'm going through grieving right now. It's okay. It's safe to feel what you're feeling. It's safe to express yourself just as you are. You're good. It's okay. Take care of yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Do your laundry. Get a good meal. Go get some chocolate. Make some hot chocolate. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself, right? Kindness goes a long way. Okay? Kindness goes a long way. And right now, as we are dissolving those chapters of, like, the 4D versions of self, right, bringing everything back to a place of love is important. Got Rover. And doing what we can to really bring the child online, right, is really important. To keep that child online, to keep that child safe, and to keep the integrity of self fully online right now, really important. And so, yeah, things are definitely completing in our life and in the world. Okay. Bumblebee shite. She knows. There are chapters that are closing. We are reaching completion. We're reaching revelation. But as a result, that which is being revealed to us, what do we do with it? Especially in our own internal versions of self. In our own internal versions of self. That which we see and recognize from within, what are we going to do about it now? And that's, for us, a lot of the offering and the opportunity here is that we are seeing things. Whether it's a rabbit hole, whether it's a poopy version of self, or whether it's a timeline that needs to shift, or you need to increase your self-value and self-worth, right? Either way, that which you are seeing, that which is being revealed to you here and now, is a gift. Even if it tastes salty, even if it tastes bitter, you're the one that has the opportunity to find the sweetness and to find the delicacy in what it is, right? Right. We need you to be a Care Bear for self, right? We need more caring people in this world. But the deep honor and the deep care and the deep sacred respect for another begins with self. The deep sacred love, the deep sacred compassion, the deep sacred remembrance for another begins with self. It begins with self. So it's really important to reach out for assistance if you need assistance. Talk to a family member. But it's also to right now doing what we can to shift these things, to shift these momentums, to shift these trajectories, to hold space, right? And remember, guys, when the world is losing its mind, we're all finding our souls. When the world is losing its mind, we're all finding our souls, which is beautiful. We're going through a transcendence, and that's a beautiful place to be. It's to be within the space of transcendence. Right? We're dissolving at deeper levels. We're coming into union. We're embodying more of our light, and as a result, we are going to get through to the other side of this passageway, of this tunnel, right? But we also got to take a break. Got to take our breaks. Got to relax. Got to have some fun too. Okay. So thank you guys for being here. Once again, we want to celebrate. To end this off on the right note, or just a different note, because we are the alchemists. Celebrate. Okay? Celebrate. Have some fun. Do the thing. Have a dance party. Celebrate the moon. Do what you gotta do. Light a candle. Say a prayer. Grab a teddy bear. Grab a teddy bear. Light some Palo Santo. Listen to Sublime. Right? Yeah. Let's check the chat. Betty, it sounds like you got a guardian with the crows. I would connect deeper to ravens. Angel. Ground. Mother Nature's holding a lot of nurture tonight for the expansion and for the experience. So if you got to drop into sacred ceremony, and just be with self and just sit with nature, do it. If things start to get a little bit pop, lock, and drop it, where you're like, whoa, get outside. Ground your energy, ground your thought forms. Once you are done shifting what you're feeling, whether it's you're releasing the anger or you're crying, when you're done, drop into gratitude, reconnect to the heart, start loving up on yourself. It's going to be very important when you're experiencing that level of contrast to bring everything back into that place of love, right? Love yourself right now. Be gentle with yourself. Because there are a lot of people that in these energies can be active or reactive, and us as consciousness, us as spirit and form, us as creators, we can start to create new avenues to be able to feel and to express what we're going through without reacting in ways that are harmful or endanger others, right? And so remember that as we are here to unify the collective, as we are here to unify ourselves and to ascend our consciousness and to shift out all these versions and parallel realities and all these things, it's important for us to find the light and the love in this experience so we can learn and honor from the experience and to let those chapters go. The more that is revealed to us, the more awareness that we hold of self and our own patterning, our own programming, the more that patterning and programming can no longer be used against us. Plain and simple. So when you find your toxic belief systems, when you find the reason why you do what you do, when you find your internal mechanics, now no one can use that against you. It's a lot of like Eminem in 8 Mile, right? The end of 8 Mile. He's rapping, he's doing his thing, he's calling himself out, he's airing out his dirt. Why is he airing out his dirt? So no one can use it as a weapon against him, right? And so for ourselves, the more that we have that level of awareness of self and who we are and why we tick, why we talk, why we do what we do, we now know our patterning, our programming, we even know our own subliminals, and we can't allow other people then to use that against us. because we can see it, because we see it within self. And that right there is a level of empowerment where we can no longer be controlled or manipulated based upon who we are. And when we see the tendril, when we see the thread, when we see that version of self and we are the conscious observer of who we are, now no one can use that against us. Right? We can no longer be weaponized. But we can see the lie for what it is. And we can say, oh, but I don't play in that. Right? Remember, you're the truth here. You're the truth. You're the truth. Find your truth and embody it. So his name is Rover. His name is Rover. He's a wanderer. He's a wanderer with me. So this is Rover. He's my little bear. And this is my reminder and my connection to my inner child. And it's been very, very important being a dude to have a little teddy bear and to play with him, you know, especially with the things that we've got to do, the things we got to shift, and moments like this, to have something that reminds us that we're safe and we're gentle. The other things I have too, I have my Psycho Bunnies. So I got Psycho Bunny and I got Gangster Bunny. And Psycho and Gangster Bunny, they work with me, and it's just another form of celebration of who I am, of being a psychopomp and being working in the realms and working with the aspects and versions of self that I do. Right. So yeah, guys, we're in transformation. We're in transformation. You know, I've been seeing a lot more men show up. Guys, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. Like, women, I love you all. I will always love you. I'm a divine man. But to see the divine men show up, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. There's a lot of soul family connection that's occurring right now in you know, the crystalline grids, us finding the tribe, us finding one another. We're here, our light is on, our soul essence is on, and we're really, you know, working to get that family, to get that monad, to get that tribe into a safe space to be able to relax and have fun, right? To relax and have fun. So, you know, it's nice to see more men appearing on the stream. It's nice to see more men showing up. I appreciate you guys. I've been waiting a long time. And the brothers, hugging you, I'm holding you with a lot of love right now. And I share that because I have brothers who are doing the same. I have brothers that are literally putting me on their shoulder right now and going, we're carrying your ass. And I'm like, okay, take me. Right? Is because we do need that. We need that. There's been a lot of war, a lot of disconnect between men. And to see the men taking care of one another and loving one another, it's just, mwah. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And to see the men honoring the women, to see men and women working together, whether it's on a live stream or a co-creation, and it doesn't have to just be a relationship, but to see men and women work together is just like, just expands my heart, right? It expands my heart. So, you guys, love yourself. Today, love yourself. Every day, love yourself. We shouldn't just use these transformative experiences to love ourselves. We should love ourselves 24/7. And if you have a difficult time loving yourself, I understand. Try it. You might not feel it right away, but the more that you practice it, the more that you engage yourself with a guilt-free transition and a judgment-free transition, and you just love yourself, right? The better it feels. Patience, trust, surrender, love, peace, ground, disengage from the story, disengage from the collective, return back to center, feel what you gotta feel, find the gratitude, find the hope, and inspire yourself to be something new and to act differently and to shift the polarity. Dance, sing, play, bake some muffins, get some cookies out, get the waffle iron out, make some pancakes, do what you can. Maple syrup is a really good solution to a lot of things in life. I have found maple syrup can solve a lot of problems in this world. So if you can, get some maple syrup. Maple syrup will help. All right. Love you guys. Much love and respect to all of you out there. Thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribes. Thank you guys. Thank you. All of my links are in the description box. foundersoflight.org. Bracelets are up on the web. We've got sessions. got a whole lot of things, but we've also got a lot of deprogramming to do and a lot of stuff to, a lot of belief systems to shift, right? So if you book a session and it takes a few days, just note, we're still in transformation. We want to honor ceremony. We want to honor ceremony. Also, because you said blueberry pancakes, if you guys want to try this is something that I did that really helped me to feel safe in my body, is making blueberry oil. So get olive oil, get a thing of blueberries, fill up the jar with blueberries, fill it up with olive oil, cap the lid, put it in the sun for 3 days. Okay. When it's done, bring it inside, smush up those blueberries, strain it, and you've got a wonderful blueberry oil. I did this for myself last week and created a blueberry oil, and then I light and coated it and turned it into, like, you know, a purity oil, a love oil to work with myself. And man, it has been such a treat after a shower, and to love my body and to honor myself. Yes, men, it's safe to honor your body and to apply lotions to your skin and to wear oils. It's okay. You're not weird. You're not gay for doing it. All right? You can take care of yourself, man. It's all good. You're not going to be less of a dude because you put oils on or because you put lotion on, right? But yeah, try it. Try that blueberry oil. I've been doing that, and I loved it. I got some organic blueberries at the market, filled it up in a mason jar, olive oil, cap the lid, sun for 3 days, sun coat it, let the sun cook it, right? And then when it was done, I smashed up the blueberries, I strained it, and now I've got this really beautiful oil. And it cost me, you know, the olive oil that I got was $7, and the blueberries were like $4. And I've got a big jar of oil, and I can make more with it. Little things like that, little recipes of hope help. You know, take that energy, turn it into something creative, because, you know, I did that. When I did that, it inspired me. It brought my creation codes online. I got excited about trying new things. And then on top of that is I'm investing in my self-love. Like, so yeah, it costs, you know, maybe a total of 10 or $12 to buy everything, but I got to create my own recipe. I got to work with my light, and as a result, I invested in my self-love. Now I've got a big jar of blueberry oil that is helping a lot with my body, and helping me to feel good about myself, right? So yeah, you know, these energies right now are really calling for a lot of body care, at least for me, and a lot of body love, as we're transitioning and shifting. And so those things have been really important for me. And I like to share these little recipes and little tips, because why not? We're all creators. We could share the magic with one another. And also, it's kind of fun to step into alchemy to get the potions out. You know, it's kind of fun. So, all right, guys, love you. Work is done today. We're going into play. We're going to go into sacred ceremony and feel what we got to feel, transition what we got to transition, shift what we got to shift. I love you. I honor you. I bless you. I thank you. So mote it be. I'll see you on the other side of this shift, the other side of this transition. Guys, let the completion move through. Come to that place of surrender. Love yourself. And let's enjoy this new reality that we're creating. Co-creating together with love and co-creating with the divine. All right, guys. Mwah! Love you. See you soon.